She'll never see the vows. Make sure she takes the last one before the ceremony. Everything will be ours after that. Imagine your wedding day, the day you've dreamed about since you were a little girl. The flowers, the dress, the vows, everything perfect. Now, imagine finding out the person you trusted most has been planning to end your life, just minutes before you walk down the aisle. What would you do? Callista's heart raced as she stepped out of her room, the ivory gown flowing elegantly behind her. The morning sun streamed to the tall windows of the luxury hotel, glinting off crystal chandeliers. Today, the world should have been hers. Today, she was to become Mrs. Elias Cross. But something felt off. A chill ran down her spine as she clutched her bouquet tighter. She tiptoed down the polished hallway, heels clicking softly against marble. Her hand hovered over the door to Elias' suite. She smiled, thinking about the look on his face when he saw her, and then she froze. A voice, Elias's voice, laughing on the phone, her ears strained, catching fragments of words that made her blood run cold. She'll never see the vows. Make sure she takes the last one before the ceremony. Everything will be ours after that. Callista's knees buckled. Her bouquet slipped through her fingers. Her heartbeat quickened. Her dream wedding had turned into a nightmare. She stumbled backward, her mind racing. Betrayal didn't just sting, it paralyzed. Elias, the man she loved, and Daphne, her closest friend, plotted with him? She had to move. Every second counted. She ran down the staircase, through the corridors, past stunned hotel staff who barely noticed her in the chaos of morning rush. Her vision blurred, heart pounding. Stay alive just a little longer. She burst into her father's suite. Felix and Vanessa looked up, startled. Calista, what's wrong? Felix asked. They want to kill me, she gasped. Silence. Then the panic surged as reality crashed down on them. Before anyone could react fully, Callista's legs gave way. She collapsed into their arms. Heart hammering, tears streaking her makeup, her mind raced. Elias arrived minutes later, the picture of a grieving fiancé. My love, what happened? He cried, feigning panic, kneeling beside her. No one suspected. Not yet. Paramedics arrived, whisking Calista away on a stretcher. Elias, hands trembling, not from fear but excitement, sat with her, lips pressed tenderly against her pale hand. In the ambulance, a tiny smirk flashed across his face. The plan is working. At the hospital, Callista's condition appeared critical. Dr. Francis, her longtime family doctor, whispered urgently, You're not out of danger, but I can help you. We can make them believe the worst has happened. If we play this carefully, you can uncover the truth. Callista's mind worked fast. She had spent her life trusting others, giving her heart, her love, her money. And now, every relationship she believed in was a lie. She nodded slowly, a dangerous idea forming. She would fake her death. That night, the hospital room became a stage for deception. Dr. Francis prepared the serum, something that would mimic death, slowing her heart, dimming her skin, and quieting her breath. Calista lay still as a needle slid into her arm. Cold shivers ran through her body, numbness spreading from her fingertips to her toes. Her chest rose and fell just enough to keep her alive, but the world outside believed she was gone. As her vision blurred, she thought of every betrayal. How could Michael, the man she trusted to love her, plan her death? How could Daphne, her best friend since childhood, scheme with him for her inheritance? And what about her step-siblings, greedy vultures circling the moment she fell? The thought of it made her teeth grind. She had always loved, always trusted, and always given her heart freely. But that was over. Now she would watch. And now they would pay. As her eyes fluttered shut, she whispered to herself. They think they've won, but I'm not gone yet. The news of Calista's death spread quickly. Friends, family, even strangers mourned. But beneath the fake tears, hidden smiles began to emerge. Elias and Daphne, confident in their deception, whispered plans of inheritance and escape. Calista listened quietly. Every word confirmed betrayal she had only begun to suspect. Her step-siblings, Marcus and Bianca, arrived, immediately discussing who would inherit what. Even her father and stepmother showed their true colors, thinking only of what they could gain. The question that haunted her was, who else is hiding their true intentions? How many lives around her are built on lies? And when the time comes, who will pay for their betrayal? Would you have the courage to watch your enemies celebrate your death, knowing you are still alive? After surviving what should have been her final moments, she realized the people she trusted most weren't just betraying her. They were plotting her death. And now, she had to play a dangerous game, to fake her own death to expose them. But who could she trust? And more importantly, would anyone survive the lies she was about to reveal? Calista lay in the shadows of life, observing her own funeral. First came Elias, her fiancé. He kneeled beside her, holding her cold hand, eyes brimming with fake tears. "My love, my sweet Callie," he murmured. But beneath the mask, he was celebrating. One more day, one more hour, and he would have everything he wanted. Daphne followed, trying to appear distraught. Her hand brushed Elias. A conspiratorial squeeze meant only for a co-conspirator. "We did it," she whispered. Calista felt her pulse quicken, pushing her to reveal herself. They didn't even know she was awake. They didn't know she was watching. The step-siblings arrived next, speaking openly about the things they were eyeing, her cars, her vacation home, even her personal savings. Their greed was palpable. They laughed softly at her expense, confident that their betrayal would go unpunished. Her father arrived on the third day. Calista had always sought his love, fought for his approval, but now she saw him clearly. He cared only for the inheritance, not for her life. Her stepmother whispered suggestions for how they would enjoy the fortune. Her chest burned with rage. Every person she had loved, every person she had trusted, had a hidden motive. But then, on the fourth day, her mother appeared. Unlike the others, her mother's sorrow was real. Tears streamed freely, voice breaking, full of regret for the years lost. "I never stopped loving you," she whispered. "I tried, but I was kept away, and now it's too late." Calista felt something soften inside her, a flicker of hope. Not everyone was a traitor. Some love had survived. On the fifth day, the mansion staff came. They had loved her genuinely. Her chef, her driver, her housekeepers. But one person, Valentine, lingered behind. His hands were trembling as he gripped the edge of the casket. "I should have spoken up," he said softly, "but I was scared. I've loved you for so long, and I didn't know how to tell you." Callista's heart raced. Valentine had been watching over her all along, quietly, faithfully. And now he was here, one of the few who truly cared. The realization hit her hard. She wasn't completely alone. She could trust. The mansion was quiet, almost too quiet. 10 days had passed since Callista's death, and every person who had gathered to mourn her had grown impatient for the reading of her will. What they didn't know was that Calista was watching, alive, hidden, observing their true colors with every passing second. And then came the final day, the day her will was to be revealed. Her enemies were waiting, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. Every person in the mansion was counting the minutes, certain that Calista was gone, certain that their greed would finally be rewarded. But she wasn't gone. Not really. She was alive, watching, planning, and ready to confront every single one of them. Her father, her stepmother, her step-siblings Elias, Daphne, and even some distant family friends. All were there, whispering anxiously, their eyes flicking toward a closed study where the lawyer would soon appear. Each believed that greed would win today. Each believed she was gone forever. Calm heart pounded as she leaned slightly forward from her hiding place. This was her moment. Every betrayal would be exposed. Every lie unmasked. Every stolen intention would be confronted. The room grew silent as the lawyer, a composed man with a calm voice, entered the grand hall. He carried a small flash drive in his hand. The air was thick with anticipation. Every eye trained on him, every mind racing with thoughts of fortune and inheritance. Before the reading of the will, the lawyer announced, "Mrs. Calista has requested that everyone watch this first." A murmur ran through the room. A request from someone they believed dead? The curiosity was immediate and irresistible. Elias' hands clenched. Daphne straightened, trying to hide her anxiety. Even her step-sibling stiffened. What could possibly be on this video? The lawyer approached the large screen and plugged in the flash drive. The first image flickered to life. Elias and Daphne, clearly caught in secret moments, whispering, laughing, plotting. Faces went pale. Gasps filled the room. The clips continued, each one more damning than the last. Whispered plans, secret meetings, soft kisses behind closed doors. Each moment of betrayal, a proof of the greed and deception that had haunted Callista's life. Eyes widened, mouths fell open, but no one could look at another in the eye. Callista's pulse quickened as she watched them squirm in the shadows. Each frame was a puzzle piece, revealing how deeply they had plotted against her. And yet, even with the proof, there was a strange thrill in knowing that she had survived and was still in control. Then the screen went black. A new image appeared. Calista herself, alive, looking strong, composed, and radiant. Every eye in the room widened in disbelief. She began speaking. "To the people who thought they could deceive me, the people who betrayed me, you will lose everything. Elias, Daphne, you will walk away with nothing. Divorce papers have been sent. Your plans end today." Whispers erupted. Elias' face drained of color. Daphne clutched her chest, as though the betrayal they had planned now rebounded onto them. Callista's voice was calm, sharp, precise. "To my step-siblings, Felix and Vanessa, you each receive a token sum, enough to remind you that greed never wins. Do not come near me or anything I own again." Her father's hands trembled. Her stepmother's face flushed. "And to my parents," Calista continued, "I offer a portion, not for love, but so that my resentment does not fall upon the innocent. After today, we are strangers." Then, with a gentleness that contrasted her iron resolve, she addressed her mother. "To the woman who never stopped loving me, your presence has been my hope. Today, we begin to heal what was lost." Her mother's tears flowed freely, real and heartfelt. Finally, she turned her words to Valentine, her loyal friend and guardian in disguise. "To the one who watched over me in silence, who loved me truly, I say this. Let us build a life together." Before anyone could speak, the doors swung open, and Calista herself entered the room, alive and breathtaking in her presence. Gasps echoed throughout the hall. Valentine stood frozen, mouth slightly open, tears of relief streaming down his face. Her mother ran forward and embraced her tightly. Elias stumbled backward, searching for words, his carefully constructed mask of grief crumbling. This isn't possible," he cried. "It is possible," Calista said, her voice steady and full of fire. "You try to end my life. Elias, you poison me for what? For greed? For selfish gain? You and this bitch I call my friend will be arrested for attempted murder. There will be no escape." The officers entered promptly, handcuffs ready. Elias and Daphne were stunned, scrambling, but the law was final. Callista's calm authority filled the room. The people who had plotted against her were powerless before the truth. As Elias and Daphne were led away, the room's tension shifted. Her step-sibling shrank back, aware that Calista now controlled everything. Her father and stepmother exchanged glances of shame and fear, realizing that their years of greed had been exposed. Yet, even in this chaos, Calista offered a moment of grace. She looked at her mother, at Valentine, at the loyal staff, and smiled. "Those who love sincerely are the ones who endure," she said. The rest will learn that betrayal comes with consequences. One by one, she ensured that justice had been served, not with violence or anger, but with truth and clever strategy. Every plot had been revealed, every lie laid bare, and in that moment, she understood that survival was only the beginning. True freedom meant reclaiming her life fully. As the mansion grew quiet once more, Calista stood with Valentine and her mother, looking over the lives she had saved and the lives she had exposed. But a question lingered unspoken, hanging in the air like smoke. When someone you trust the most turns against you, can you ever truly trust again? If you were in Layla's shoes, what would you do? Could you forgive? Or would you watch, wait, and strike with the precision of a life almost lost? Now it's your turn. Comment below. If you discovered betrayal this deep, would you confront it or outsmart it like Layla? And while you're at it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories where trust is tested and betrayal is only the beginning.